Welcome to the Turing Test, your daily deep dives podcast, where we dive into the exciting world of GPT-5 in education. This model is stirring up quite the debate. Is it the ultimate study buddy, or just a high-tech way to cheat?
It's a fascinating topic. We're talking about a system that can draft essays, solve complex math problems, and even simulate historical debates in seconds, right?
Absolutely. And it's not just about speed. It's about accessibility too. GPT-5 can explain concepts in plain language, be it English, Mandarin, or Spanish, which could really revolutionize multilingual classrooms.
Exactly. It's like having a tutor on call 24/7. But doesn't that raise the issue of whether students are truly learning or merely outsourcing their work?
Right. There's this key contrast. On one hand, GPT-5 can act as a patient, ever-present teacher. On the other, if a student uses it to produce an entire term paper, it might erode critical thinking and independent learning skills.
So it's a double-edged sword. Can we really expect students to learn from a tool that sometimes gives a shortcut rather than fostering understanding?
Exactly. That's where educators have had to get creative. Instead of outright bans, many have started teaching how to prompt the AI effectively and emphasize the importance of fact-checking its outputs,
Right?
turning copy-paste into collaborate and critique.
Interesting. So schools are essentially retooling their policies. What are some measures they're taking to keep academic integrity intact?
As of 2025, quite a few universities have updated their integrity codes to specifically address AI usage. For example, GPT-5 might be acceptable for brainstorming or generating initial research summaries, but it's clearly off limits for drafting final papers.
And I've heard that some professors are even designing assignments that the AI just can't easily crack, like oral defenses, project-based challenges, or even live problem-solving situations.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of ironic
Yeah.
because these methods actually mirror how AI systems are tested through real-time tasks that require on-the-spot solutions.
Fascinating. Now, what about personalizing learning?
GPT-5 can identify where they're getting stuck and switch tactics, explaining step by step, offering visual aids, or even gamifying the learning process.
That sounds like a dream come true for personalized education. But aren't we missing the point that GPT-5 doesn't actually understand in the human sense? It's pattern matching pretty advanced?
Exactly. It calculates and predicts based on huge data sets. So, yeah, it may still be confidently wrong at times.
Right.
That's why it's essential for students to build digital literacy and learn to verify the AI suggestions.
And that naturally leads to a debate about whether GPT-5 levels the playing field or widens the gap among students.
Precisely. In theory, a free or low-cost AI tutor should give every student high-level help, irrespective of background. Yet in practice, differential access to reliable internet, quality devices, and proper training can widen the gap significantly.
So basically, even though the technology could democratize learning, it might also create an AI fluency divide between those who master its use and those who don't.
Exactly. And I think that's where a respectful challenge comes in. Some argue that equal access to tech is enough, but I respectfully disagree. Without proper training, just having access doesn't guarantee effective use.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's not the same as just handing over a calculator. It requires a new kind of digital literacy that schools must now incorporate.
Right. Historical context is key here. In the past, calculators were once banned in exams, but eventually, educators integrated them into the learning process while emphasizing understanding over mere calculation.
And we're at a similar crossroads with GPT-5. It's about integrating it properly rather than outright banning it.
Exactly so. Now let's ponder where GPT-5 in education is headed in the next 5 years. I feel like bans are unlikely to last forever, as history has taught us with tools like calculators.
Right. Over time, we're likely to see GPT-5 and similar models embedded directly into learning platforms, textbooks, and even standardized test prep systems.
Yes, and educators who thrive will be those who see GPT-5 as a partner rather than a threat.
Yup.
They'll use it to enhance the teaching process with proper oversight and guidance.
And it makes me wonder, in a sense, doesn't GPT-5 compel us to redefine what it means to learn? Instead of memorizing facts, perhaps the focus shifts to analysis, critical thinking, and creative problem solving.
Exactly. It's a paradigm shift. Students might use GPT-5 as a springboard to delve deeper into subjects rather than as a shortcut to finish assignments.
But here's a question. If a student relies too much on GPT-5, aren't we risking an erosion of those critical cognitive skills we're trying to nurture?
That's a valid concern. It's like giving someone a map in a maze. If they rely solely on the map, they might never learn to navigate the maze themselves. It's essential for students to learn how to interpret and supplement AI output with their own reasoning.
Right, so it circles back to the need for balanced digital literacy, training the students to not only use GPT-5 but to question and critique it.
Exactly, and that's a skill set that will serve them well in a digital future. It's like learning to fish rather than just buying fish from the market.
And it reminds me of an analogy. If GPT-5 is a supercharged toolkit, then knowing what tool to use and when is where true mastery comes in.
Right, it's like having a Swiss Army knife. It's versatile, but you need to know which blade to pull out. That's why educators are focusing on creating assignments where the tool supports, but doesn't replace genuine thought.
Precisely. I've noticed some innovative projects where, instead of a written paper, the assignment involves a live problem-solving session. That way, the human element is front and center.
Yes, and that approach really pushes students to internalize concepts. It's a practical way to ensure that even if they use GPT-5 for brainstorming, they're ultimately contributing their own insights.
And it also prepares them for the real world, where no AI can entirely replace human judgment and creativity.
Exactly. The bottom line is that GPT-5, like any tool, is only as good or as problematic as its user makes it. Proper integration is key.
Yeah, and I'd say the responsibility lies with both educators and students to harness this tool wisely rather than blindly following its outputs.
Right, and as we look to the future, it's interesting to think of how these dynamics will evolve. The ultimate lesson might be about harnessing technology with thoughtful oversight rather than letting it completely take over.
Well said. And for our listeners, it opens up an important question. How will your relationship with tech change the way you learn and ultimately think?
Absolutely. As we wrap up, remember that GPT-5 in education isn't inherently good or bad. It's a tool that can empower or hinder depending on how it's all about striking that balance.
Exactly. Thanks for joining the discussion. And to our listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning, and stay tuned for our next deep dive into the evolving world of technology and learning.